Hello to all of our beautiful listeners all around the world. Again, my name is Wilson, and today, apparently, Billy cannot make it to the program that we usually do on a weekly basis. He has another set of responsibilities that he needs to take care of, so we'll see what happens eventually. But the show must go on. The show must go on, just like any other entertainment. If an actor wasn't able to work together with the production team, you fire the actor and you replace them with someone else, like what happens in Fantastic Beasts. I think it's the third film now. Yeah, it's already on theaters. I've already seen it. I probably wouldn't recommend people to go quickly see it. I don't think it's that worth watching, especially in theaters, is when it's packed with a lot of people. So if you are unless if you're a really big Harry Potter fan, then maybe you would want to do that, but I wouldn't recommend risking your life for a movie because because I have the opportunity to see it for just $5. So it's a pretty good deal, but then it also comes with the cost of you're gonna be sitting with a lot of people around you. So it's a little bit scary. So, but hey, I'm still healthy. I'm still great. I think I feel healthy at least. I'm not showing any symptoms yet, but we'll see about it. Well, my face says otherwise, but that's just a genetic defect, right? All right. So, and because I cannot have Billy on this show, I'm a really really sad, lonely potato who has no friends. So what I ended up doing is I abducted the neighbor's uh child. Um, his name is he goes by the name Eggy, right? Like Eggy, the secret agent in the Kingsman Secret Service. Is his name Eggy? I don't know, but yeah, he is an egg, right? Hard boiled egg, and he looks really delicious. But I'm not gonna be eating him anytime soon. So what I'm actually gonna be doing instead, I'm going to be reviewing a really really awesome Hong Kong action film called Hard Boiled out of anything. This oh boy, this film is just the pinnacle of Hong Kong cinema. I would dare to say to that extent. At least in terms of the action genre, this is the gold standard. If you can't make something better than this, it's really difficult. But anything's possible. Anything is possible. I haven't seen one yet. Um, I I didn't enjoy the Killers, but I prefer this one much more. So let's because the thing is earlier me and Billy we agreed to see this, but he can't make it to the show, so I might as well just do this alone. But hey, I have a lot of great things to say about this. This is a film that came out in 1992, I believe, and it's directed by I would go as far to say as the Asian Michael Bay. I don't think I can describe this guy any other way besides he is the Asian Michael Bay. He makes amazing action films since I don't know the 80s, I guess. And this is, I believe this is pretty much his top caliber. I don't think he can make anything that's better than this, because this is just chef's kiss. Um, okay, so it's also starring I'm just gonna say both the English names and the Chinese names at the same time, right? Um, well, yeah. So we have Anthony Wong, Hua Qiusheng. He's playing the psychotic maniac, of dealing with he's basically a gun dealer. He trades guns. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal in Hong Kong, but that's that's his job. Then obviously our leading man Choi Yong-fa, uh, which is in I think his English name is I don't even think he has an English name. I'm not sure, but I might be wrong. But his Chinese name is Choi Yong-fa, right? Then we have Liang Chaowei, Tony Leung, who's now he is in a really really great Marvel film called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. He plays the Mandarin. Heard a lot of good things about it. I might probably eventually review that at some point, but I'm not sure when will I do that. But people really like that movie apparently, and I might probably check it out someday. But we'll see. So, but now we're talking about Hardboiled. What do I think about Hardboiled? Hardboiled is is over the top. Okay, that's the best way to describe it. It's over the top. It's just balls to the walls. Exactly what you would expect from an Asian Michael Bay to do. Over the top. You got a very somewhat sarcastic, witty, very mouth. What's that? What's the word? He has a sharp tongue. That's another way to describe these characters. So yeah, these characters they have very sharp tongues. So, and obviously, you got the amazing action sequences that's been choreographed to death. I'm pretty sure because wow, that is a whole other section that I'm going to get into eventually. But yeah, you got that. Story wise, I will tell you that it is simple. There's nothing wrong with having a simple story of so you have you're following this undercover cop. Is he undercover cop? Yeah, I think I think he is because he's not actually wearing any uniform like a normal street police officer, right? Or like any patrolling officers on down the street. So there's that. Yeah. So yeah. So there's that. And then we also have so at least hello to all of our beautiful listeners. My name is Wilson, and today we are going to be discussing about a Hong Kong film. Oh yeah, sorry to bother, but not sorry to bother, but if you're listening on Spotify or just an audio based podcast, not YouTube, pretty much, I have an egg beside me that I've abducted from my neighbor. He goes by the name Eggy, and he is a hard-boiled egg, which actually goes to the film that I'm gonna be talking about today. Hard-boiled. Forget what's the actual Chinese name for this, but this is a movie made by John Woo, right? He has made a lot of great action films from based in Hong Kong, and that's pretty much how he pretty much steps into Hollywood too. And then he made starting to make a lot of crazy action films like Face Off, which is a film that I might probably talk about later on. We'll see when. But yeah, it's starring Anthony Wong, Hua Jiusheng, Zhou Yongfa, and then Liang Chaowei, who's Tony Leung, he plays the Mandarin in the Shang-Chi movie, which I might probably get into that one day, but we'll see. So, what do I think about this? I think this is a movie. This is a film that I think, uh, if you really enjoy action movies, a really good one that has a good story, good characters, um, and just all around a gold standard cinematic masterpiece. I would even go as far as that. This is your top pick, and I'm also sure that a lot of people will agree with me in some ways. Uh, so yes, this movie is over the top. Has a lot of crazy stuff going on, a lot of illogical stuffs going on too. Not in the sense of, hey, this doesn't match up with this. It's more in the context of, because of the over the top world building that they set up, of you got the characters being, able to survive so many bullets coming through, and when they actually got shot, we're just gonna patch that up. We're just gonna patch just that one part, and then we're all good to go. Which is, it's okay, I guess, but I'll eventually get into that with the negative aspects of the film, which I don't want to talk about now because I want to talk about the good stuff. So it's over the top, a lot of crazy stuff, crazy moments, especially with the action spectacles, which is the stuff that people would want to see, right? So what do you have here? It has simple and effective action spectacles. I would want to point out three main ones, which is, okay, well, the very first one is the tea house, which is pretty much the opening sequence. It started off as just, people hanging out, and then I don't know, I don't even actually know that people do sell caged birds around the like tea houses in Hong Kong. I'm not even sure if that's actually a real thing, but I might be wrong. I don't come from Hong Kong, this is such a pretty new thing to me. So there's also, just people, hanging out and having some tea time together, with like their friends and families. Then you got the plot kicks in, where somebody, well, actually, the main character, his name is, he goes by the name Tequila for some reason. It's a weird name, but yeah, Tequila, who's played by 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪𝓽𝓪, right? He noticed that one of the guys actually has a gun, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that is the man that I have to take down." So he pretty much broke. He broke? Yeah, I think he did pretty much just broke one of the bird cages, and because the thing is, of a bird cage, there's usually like some sort of, what's this thing called, a platform at the bottom, right? So obviously the bird wouldn't be able to get out of the cage, but when 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪 just well, at least that when that bird cage just hits the ground, and then the bird flew away because the cage is broken, then the thing is, in that particular bottom platform of the cage, there is actually a secret compartment where it stores guns inside, and then that's when Tequila took the guns, and then you got the amazing shootout scene in the tea house. It's super intense. I like the fact that the movie doesn't waste time with, like, oh, you have to establish. Yeah, they do establish the characters, but they don't go to the point of, oh, you need to know their history. You need to know about what did they like, who they usually hang out with, what's their what's their hobbies, things like that. No, just give me, well, at least give us just the general gist of your character. Even if it's two-dimensional, it's not really a big deal either, because I don't think you need a three-dimensional character in this particular film, because that's not really the main focus. The main focus is making a great action film with a lot of practical effects, which they excel at exponentially. So yeah, it's a great shootout. you got the hero, you got 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪. Just I'm pretty sure he did some of a lot of the stunts at some point. Maybe not the more dangerous ones. But I'll get into that in the trivia section where he actually is a bit pissed off with John Woo. Heroes. So there's this really interesting action staple from Hong Kong where I think it started off from this movie. I might be wrong, but 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪 has this gimmick of just basically jumping, well, actually leaping forward and then just dives into the ground and then start shooting or take cover. It's a very fluid motion because okay, one thing, it looks great. Okay, it looks great on camera. It looks really fluid, right? It looks as if he actually knows what he's doing. He's a professional. He knows he can get the job done. That's like just the way he moves. It's almost like water in some ways. So yeah, a bit of a Bruce Lee thing there, but obviously in a different way. Well, obviously it's not Bruce Lee, but what I'm talking about is just the way these action stars just pretty much make their own thing when they're filming these intense scenes, and it just becomes an icon at this point, which is great. Then and then yeah, there's also the abandoned warehouse where there is a really good setup of so Anthony Wong's character, because he is a gun dealer, an illegal gun dealer. And then when the end, what he actually did is he's trying to cut off a competitor, I believe, and he actually did. I think he did kill them in the abandoned warehouse. But then at some point, 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪 comes to the rescue from the roof. So he throws I think some smoke grenades at Anthony Wong's character's henchmen. So they would be a little bit phased out, and they wouldn't they couldn't really see what's going on. And then you got this really stupid but also amazing moment of it's so dumb, but I love it, right? So yeah, okay, so Tequila is he attached himself to some sort of rope, and then he just pretty much just glides down and it just starts shooting at people. I think it's a somehow automatic, but I'm not sure exactly which one, because I'm not a gun person. I'm not interested with that. I'm actually I'm more of a against gun kind of person. So well, obviously if it's entertainment, then I don't mind, but if it's real life, then it's a completely different story. But that's a different topic for another time. But yeah, that's a really good thing that John Woo was able to pull off. So you got really stupid over the top choreographs, right? But the thing is, it still works within the world, because you know that people can actually get killed and people can actually get injured, especially with our main characters. They actually did get injured. So there's actually another character who is basically being the mole for the he's playing the undercover cop, right? There's another undercover cop played by Tony Leung. He works for Anthony Wong's character, right? So so during the warehouse, they're both there with their henchmen, and Tequila actually is able. I think it's either Tequila or someone is able to shoot Tony Leung's character, in the gut, and and then you can tell that, oh, okay, he's obviously Tony Leung's character is trying to save himself, right? Just trying to get away from the situation, trying to run off, but he didn't. And then you got this really the amazing poetic moment of both of these characters when everybody is pretty much dead. They both just point their guns at each other, like onto each other's foreheads, And it's like, oh, this is such a. It reminds me a lot of another film that I actually really like. It's called Infernal Affairs. It's remade into the American media, called The Departed. Not sure. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of that movie, right? It's very similar. Very poetic too. It's because the thing is, Tequila doesn't actually know that he is working for them. He is actually an undercover cop, but uh, that's pretty much what's one of like yeah. That's the main point is also the fact that part of the story's journey is for him to discover that oh this guy actually isn't a bad guy after all. He's actually working for us. Uh, well, to some extent, he like Tony Leung's character did kill a bunch of people along the way, but I'm not too sure if that's allowed in being an undercover cop. You actually kill people, even though they're criminals. But I don't know. Yeah, that's there's some finicky in minor drawbacks with the film itself that I'll eventually talk about soon. But yeah, so there's that. Then oh yeah, I almost forgot. There's a character that they call Mad Dog apparently, who's this kind of a huge dude actually. Even for Asian standards, he's kind of big and very imposing. And he's really good with guns. It's almost like the Asian Punisher, if you want to get the idea. So imagine the Punisher being this film, and then just guns blazing to, it just kills everybody in his way. It doesn't matter what, right? So there's this really crazy moment of him just throwing grenades into like like this small storage room with a bunch of I think they're warehouse workers too. Then I'm pretty sure they're dead right at that point. And then there's also another one with Tequila. So Tequila has to use like one of the car's doors as a shield so he wouldn't get shot. Because Mad Dog is using some sort of semi-automatic or automatic gun to keep shooting him. It's like it's so I know the way I explain it, it sounds kind of whatever, right? It's pretty ordinary, but once you actually see it, believe me, you might not want to see another Hong Kong action film again because this is just it's beautiful. So there's the abandoned warehouse, and then there's also the hospital shootout, the climax of the film. This is literally John Woo's maximum carnage of his directing caliber. This is just his magnum opus. You have all the hospital staffs and patients being pretty much taken hostage, right? So some of them actually make it out alive outside of the hospital because the thing is like the setup is these same criminals from Anthony Wong's empire. They infiltrate this hospital because why not? Because he's a bad guy, right? Yeah, I mean the characters are not very deep, but that's not really the point. So they infiltrate this hospital, and then some hospital members of like the staff and some of the patients are able to make it out, but for the ones who actually made it out, at least for the first 10 minutes, they all get shot anyway, because all of the the henchmen have pretty much reached all the top floors where they have access to through the windows, where they can actually have access to shoot these other people outside of the hospital as they're running away. So the thing is, I'm surprised actually. I think they actually killed most of them, which is just a bit impressive for using a semi-automatic, because it is a freaking gun. I'm actually surprised that nobody really uses a sniper or anything, which I think it's much more effective. But it's action entertainment film. Doesn't matter about logic or these real world consistencies, but it's okay. And yeah, so the majority, right? The majority of these hospital people, they're being held hostage inside, and the henchmen just pretty much just lock all the doors, so they're not able to get out in any way. So it's just this really tense uh moment with Tequila and Tony Leung's character. I forgot what's its actual name in the film. Because when they actually enter the hospital, they've already known each other. That, oh, okay, that you are undercover cop, I'm an undercover cop too. Let's work together. So they actually did. You got some really crazy one take shots. That's the one thing that I actually admire. They're not as good as Daredevil's episode. I think second. I think it's the second episode. Yeah, episode 2 is warehouse scene. No, this is because this isn't made in the early 90s, so technically they're still new to this thing, kind of. But they did the best that they can, and I am really impressed, and I really admire it, and I wish that people would do this more. Which nowadays it's that dream is coming true. You got with like John Wick, and what else is there? Mission Impossible. It's at some point, even you got other let me see. You got other non-American films. I will even say that too. That also does using like trying to actually incorporate one take format into their film, like Victoria. Well, they're not action films, but you got my point. It's starting to become somewhat of a norm at this day and age, which is good and bad, but I'd see more and more as a positive thing. So like Victoria, there's also another European film called Climax, which is also shot in one take. Well, obviously it's edited, but it's trying to trick you into thinking that you're watching a one take film, even though it's not, because there's obviously hidden cuts, right? But anyway, back to the movie. There's that, and yeah, oh man, even there's I have a soft spot too with babies, right? There's the plot of these police officers, including our main characters. They're trying to get these babies out of the hospital as effective as as fast as they can, while also trying to kill all these henchmen who actually have infiltrated the whole hospital, right? And it's just it's so it's so gripping into my seat, because the thing is, you don't like it doesn't waste time with too much character development. It has character development to some point. Not Tequila, but I would say Tony Leung's character has character development, right? Because the thing is that he actually realized that the boss that he's someone working with, Anthony Wong's character, he's a complete psychopath. So he's like, wow, dude, you're actually willing to murder fucking people? That's horrible, right? So yeah, I don't really want to spoil that much, even though I technically already am. But I'm not going to the actual nuts and bolts of the details, if that makes sense. So there's that. I love it, but there's some flaws I would want to point out, like a lot of convenience moments, I would say, in the film, especially with a lot of plot armor. Because especially in the abandoned warehouse, there's a lot of bullets flying through the air. Pretty sure everybody would either dead or they're actually really horribly injured. You wouldn't be getting out alive as if I'm just a scratch on my tummy. I'm gonna be fine. No, you're gonna be limping. If you're able to limp, because a bullet to your flesh, all right, it's pretty painful, and because you're also losing a lot of blood. Okay, because there is literally a hole in your through your flesh, so there's gonna be blood coming out, and you have a lot of blood coming out, you're starting to faint. You're starting to faint, you probably might die because you're losing blood. But no, but apparently our main characters are fine, kind of. Well, especially Tequila, because he almost has no bullets until the hospital sequence. But even that one is just like, oh really? So you got 3 bullets through your chest. I think it's 3 bullets. Like after he tried to rescue one of the babies at the end, he got 3 bullets through his chest, and then he's still able to still able to make the run out of the window to get the baby out of the hospital and out of the danger. But I don't know. The it's not honestly it's not really a big deal. But I mean I think if they try to make our characters a little bit more realistic, it's in some sense, even though yes the movies it is over the top, it is a bit silly, but I think if they put in some more realistic aspects, to make them a little bit more tangible and yeah, just overall vulnerable, right? Getting injured very easily, he might be limping to make it out alive, just to tell the audience that this job is very dangerous, and I don't even think I'm getting paid enough, but I'm still doing it because I love my job. I love to save people. I think that'll be a really really good message to take out the film. Which I mean the film does that. Honestly, it does, but I'm saying it's not amplifying it enough to the point that that is the obvious message. But yeah, what else? Some music choices I would say is a little bit out of place, especially when during those transitions with when the characters are driving their cars from one place to another. There's like this kind of cringy 80s pops background elevator music. It does take me out of the movie a little bit, but then again, this is during the time where that's cool, so it's fine. It doesn't hurt the movie too much, so I'm not gonna fuss about it. So but yeah, I love it so much. But here's the thing I wanted to talk about a little bit with the behind the scenes productions. So like I mentioned before, well actually I haven't mentioned about this. So remember when I talked about the tea house earlier? So there is actually a scene where Tequila is sliding down the staircase, as in he actually leaned his body on the staircase handle, and it just slides through. I think they're using flour to do it, so they're able to film it. So because flour is pretty slippery, right? The thing is, hang on a second. Yeah. The staircase side. Yeah, there you go. That's actually 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪𝓽𝓪's actual idea, is to use the flour in that one. Just pretty cool, I would say. And then there's this moment of Tony Leung was not supposed to cry after killing Mr. Hui. But Tony Leung actually felt that the character should show some sort of sign of breaking down, because most characters in the film honestly are not really three-dimensional anyway. So I understand why he wants to do that, even though arguably he's the most developed character out of the rest. Because Woo filmed this. Okay, so what happens is John Woo filmed both scenes and decided to keep the crying take in, which is very smart of him to do it. It actually adds a lot of character. I mean, a little bit more character to Tony Leung's character, which is very commendable. But I want to point out some of the actual not so good parts of the behind the scenes. So remember the hospital scene that I mentioned during filming of the exploding hallway in the hospital where Tequila's running, right? John Woo isn't satisfied that the explosions were big and frightening enough in the scene. So according to him, in the DVD interview, he asked the special effects technicians to reset the explosive and give him the trigger. when 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪𝓽𝓪 ran down the hall, Wu actually immediately set the explosives off, nearly incinerating Cao. So basically, he didn't give Cao any cues or any some sort of signs. Just like, okay, explosive coming out now. No, he's just gonna he just set it off because why not? Obviously, 𝓟𝓸𝓽𝓪 is pretty pissed off because he mentions along the lines of John's trying to kill me. John's fucking trying to kill me. Something like that. I mean, obviously, I would probably say the same thing because, like, bro, are you serious? Yeah, because when Jong-woo heard Cao screaming, he ran up to apologize to Cao and saw that the back of his head and coat were in fact signs from the explosions. Oh, okay, I see now. Yeah. And then there's also the onset injury where during the hallway shootout, Tony Leung's character has a cut in the eye by a shot of glass. If you pay attention, Leung suddenly covers his face with his arm, indication of when he was hit by the glass. He was given a day off to get the medical attention and returned to the set to finish filming without problems. And then there's also a trivia about Anthony Wong actually doesn't really enjoy working with Jong-woo, which clearly when I tell the story about him setting out the freaking explosion without any indicators to 𝓟𝓽𝓪. Yeah, I'm totally on the side that this guy's kind of nuts. Like, come on, man, you gotta treat people with some sort of dignity and respect. Like, you don't do that, especially if you're dealing with actual dangerous stunts, right? But that's Hard-Boiled. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. I love this film. I would definitely show it to anybody who wants to get into action films from Hong Kong, or even action films in general. If they haven't even seen it, I would definitely recommend them to see this. So let's say if you like that their warehousing in Daredevil, that intense one-shot scene from Oldboy where the main character just trying to beat up all these guys in this one hallway. You should go see this. I really do. I really do think you should go see this, because this is pretty much one of the grandfathers of action cinema, and it still is. It still holds up to now, which is something that's very, very hard to do. I applaud John Woo for making this film. Like, bravo! This is 5 out of 5 stars, no doubt. I'm being serious. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I love this film. This is just like, the thing is, like, in this for this review, this is actually my second time watching it. And the second time I watched it, because I don't watch it with English subtitles anymore, so I'm just hearing people speaking Cantonese. It's just the language I'm not even familiar with. So in some ways that I'm able to I'm able to spot some actual visual aspects of the story. It's like, oh, now I'm able to appreciate the artistry of, like, the shots, how they compose some key elements with the paper cranes. It's very symbolic of Tony Leung's character's growth in the film. Then yeah, it's just one of the best. I'll say one of the best. Highly recommend people to go see this, even though they don't like films. All right, that's all I got to say. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!